Picture this. You've just arrived in the United States, you're excited, your visa's been approved, you've landed your first job, and the first thing you need is a car. You go to the dealership, they greet you with a smile, and offer you an amazing truck for just $400 a month. You take it. Months later, without even realizing it, you're stuck in a contract that will last 7 years, paying more than double what the vehicle is actually worth. And the worst part is, if you try to trade it in, they tell you that you still owe thousands, even more than what your car is worth today. This is the trap. In this video, I'm going to explain why financing a car in the United States can be one of the worst financial decisions you can make if you don't really understand how the system works. But I'm also going to give you clear alternatives to avoid falling into this cycle that traps thousands of people every year. Because in a country where getting around is almost a necessity, freedom shouldn't cost you your financial future. Buying a car isn't just about getting from point A to point B. In American culture, a car is a symbol of success, independence, and progress. When you have one, you feel like you're finally part of the system. It's that feeling of, I'm making it. The United States has one of the most sophisticated economies in the world, but also one of the most addicted to credit. Here, it's not about how much money you have today, but about how much you're willing to pay over the next few years. Dealerships don't make money by selling you a car outright, but by financing you. That's why if you show up with cash, they look at you funny. But if you show up with $0 and are ready to sign, they treat you like a VIP. They tell you that financing helps you build credit history, that by paying on time you'll get access to better rates in the future. And yes, that's partly true. But at what cost? Right when you're halfway through the contract, tired of your old car, they offer to swap it for a new one. They tell you they can refinance the remaining debt, roll it into the new loan, and let you drive off in a shiny new car without paying anything extra up front. But that's just financial window dressing. What they're really doing is adding old debt to new debt, extending your term, and keeping you trapped in that endless cycle. It's like you're paying for a car you no longer have and for one you still haven't finished paying off. And if you stop making payments, the bank doesn't wait long. They repossess your car, sometimes in less than 60 days. You don't even need to be there. They just show up, tow it away, and that's it. You're left without a car. But the debt is still there and your credit takes a nosedive. In many countries, when someone buys a car on finance, it's normal to make a down payment, an initial installment. But in the United States, thanks to the robust credit system and fierce competition among numerous dealerships, you can often drive off with a car without putting down a single dollar up front. What sounds like a win is actually the first step toward losing. Why? Because by not making a down payment, you're financing the full price of the car. That means from day one, your debt is equal to or even greater than the value of the vehicle. And on top of that, you have to add the interest. Let's look at an example. Suppose you choose a used car for $22,000. The seller offers you a quick loan, no down payment, with a 12% annual interest rate and a term of 72 months. Your monthly payment will be around $435. Now, multiply that by 72 months. You'll have paid over $31,000 for a car that might only be worth $16,000 on the market. And the most alarming part, during the first 3 years, your payments barely cover the interest and only a tiny portion of the principal. That means if you decide to sell the car before the contract ends, you could still owe more than what you'd get for it. If you've been living in the United States for many years, have multiple credit cards, pay all your bills on time, and possess a very high credit score, you'll probably be offered a really good interest rate. But if you've just recently arrived in the country, your credit history is either non-existent or quite low. Get ready to see rates that can easily reach 20 or even 25%. When we talk about buying a car on credit, we're not just talking about a simple financial procedure. We're talking about a significant decision that can follow you for many years. And that's no exaggeration. Trap number 1, hidden interest. Most people who walk into a dealership focus on just one thing, the monthly payment. If they're told the car costs $450 a month, they accept it without asking any more questions. And what's worse, Many times you don't even know what the actual rate you were given was. Why? Because it's not presented clearly. They show you the monthly amount, distract you with the extras, and get you to sign. And when you see the final number, it's already too late. Trap number 2. Never-ending terms. 10 or 15 years ago, it was normal to finance a car for 36 months, maybe 48. Today, many contracts are for 72 months, even up to 84 months, which means 7 whole years paying for the same car. The reason? The longer the term, the lower the monthly payment. And that's what they want to sell you, apparent convenience. But here's the real problem. The car's depreciation. That means halfway through the contract, your car is already worth half, but you still owe 80% of the loan. You're trapped. Trap 3. The illusion of a manageable quota. This trap is perhaps the most subtle and the most dangerous, because it is not always about high rates or long contracts. Sometimes, even with good conditions, you just shouldn't make that commitment. And yet, a lot of people fall for it because $500 a month sounds reasonable. But what if you lose your job? What if you have a family emergency? What if the cost of living goes up like it has in recent years and your budget just doesn't cut it anymore? At that point, what was once manageable truly becomes a significant burden. And for many individuals, this story often ends the same way. The bank ultimately takes the car and you're left with a substantial debt that doesn't simply go away so easily. When people discover just how tough traditional financing can truly be, many then look to an alternative that sounds modern, simple, and sleek. Leasing is, at its core, a long-term rental. It's like renting a car, but with a contract and commitment. Here's how it works. You sign up for a set period, for example, 24 or 36 months. Each month you pay an installment that, in theory, is lower than with traditional financing. At the end of the contract, you have 3 options. Return the car, swap it for a brand new one, new contract, new lease, or buy the car by paying its residual value, meaning the value it's estimated to have at the end of the contract. During the lease, the car isn't yours, it's owned by the brand or the bank. You're just using it under very specific conditions. So where's the catch? Behind that low monthly payment and that new car, there are a series of conditions that aren't always clear at first. Let's go over the most important ones. Number 1. Mileage limit. One of the strictest conditions of leasing is that they limit the number of miles you can drive. 2. Strict conditions for returning it. At the end of the contract, if you decide not to buy the car, you have to return it in impeccable condition. 3rd, the endless cycle. This is the trickiest point. Leasing can turn into a never-ending loop. Since you never actually own the car, you end up going from one lease to another. So, is it worth it or not? Leasing can be a valid option in very specific cases, but for most people, especially those building their lives in the United States or seeking financial stability, leasing is rarely the best move. No one buys a car thinking that one day they won't be able to pay for it. No one signs a leasing or financing contract imagining it could end up keeping them up at night. But more and more people in the United States are finding themselves in exactly that situation. Trapped, overwhelmed, exhausted. In recent years, the cost of new vehicles has risen dramatically. The pandemic, inflation, the chip shortage, and the shift toward electric cars have all pushed prices higher. The result? These days, the average monthly payment for a new car is over $700. And in many cases, payments are already reaching or exceeding $1,000 a month. And we're not talking about luxury cars, we're talking about family trucks, basic sedans, or mid-size SUVs. For many people, that's equal to 1/3 or more of their monthly salary. In other words, the car is no longer just a means to work. Now, work exists just to pay for the car. When a car payment gets that high, everything else in your life starts to wobble. And if you can't pay, the hit is double. You lose the car and you damage your credit. What's most alarming is that many people who fall behind on payments don't do it out of irresponsibility. They do it because they have no wiggle room. And meanwhile, the car, which used to be a symbol of independence, becomes a constant reminder of the mistake. According to recent reports, auto loans in the United States have surpassed $1.5 trillion. And what's most worrying is this: the number of people seriously behind on payments is going up. And if the economy slows down, jobs decrease, or interest rates keep rising, we could be facing a much deeper crisis. We've already seen the worst. We know how the system works, where the traps are, and how so many people end up paying for years for something that's not even worth half of what it costs. But this video isn't meant to scare you. It's to empower you. Because the truth is, there are ways to have a car in the United States without ruining your financial future. But for that, you need to stay one step ahead, be smarter than the salesperson, and think more with your head than with your heart. Get informed before walking into a dealership. The golden rule: one who comes prepared makes decisions. One who doesn't signs what's given. Second, get a pre-approval before you sign anything. This is something few people do, but it changes the whole game. Before you let yourself be tempted by the "we can get you credit right here," go to your bank and ask for a pre-approval. Third, compare the interest rate, not just the monthly payment. A low monthly payment can hide an endless contract or sky-high interest rates. That's why you shouldn't be swayed just by the monthly number. Demand to see the full APR. That's the real rate you'll pay, including all fees. Fourth, avoid long loan terms. This rule is simple. If you can't pay it off in 48 months or less, you probably shouldn't buy it. Fifth, consider buying used and paying in cash. Yeah, I know it doesn't have a touchscreen, it doesn't have leather seats, but it also doesn't come with debt. Sixth, negotiate everything. In the United States, everything is negotiable. Everything. Remember, they want to sell. You don't need to buy today. Seventh, don't trade old debt for new debt. This is one of the most common mistakes. You're halfway through your contract, you get tired of the car, and the salesperson tells you that you can swap it for a new one without paying more. What they actually do is add the remaining debt to your new contract. Eighth, consider alternatives to owning a car. I know having a car seems mandatory in the United States, but depending on your city, there are viable options. It's not always necessary to go into debt to get around. Sometimes all you need is a little creativity. Ninth, don't let the car dictate your life. The car is a means, not an end. It doesn't define you. It's not an extension of your self-esteem. Going into debt to impress others is like giving away your financial freedom. There's a very popular saying in the United States: drive the car of your dreams. And while it sounds motivating, the truth is that it often ends up turning into something much darker. Debt for the car of your dreams. A new car gives you status, excitement, and freedom. But if that freedom is propped up by a toxic loan, suffocating monthly payments, and constant anxiety about not falling behind, how free are you really? If you've made it this far, it's not a coincidence. This topic matters to you. You're looking to make better decisions, protect your money, take care of your future, and that already puts you ahead. And always remember, it's not about the car you drive, it's about the life you want to drive.